Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I want to talk about the best drugstore primers as well as priming sprays from the drugstore that I think are so great. If you guys have been watching me for a while, then I'm sure you know that when it comes to base products like primers, foundations, concealers, and also powders, I think the drugstore does them so well. If you take a look inside my collection, when it comes to those products and that category of makeup, I definitely have more from the drugstore because I just think the drugstore is where it's at when it comes to stuff like that. I don't think you need to be spending 30, 40, even 50 bucks on face products. But today specifically, I wanted to focus on my favorite primers as well as setting spray. I definitely think those two products are key to getting a long lasting as well as smooth base under your foundation. Today's video was inspired by Juicy Jazz here on YouTube. I did recently just see her upload a video like this and I loved it. I love her content and literally everything she uploads. So I figured I would do my own version of this video and give you guys my recommendations of the best primers. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get on into talking about my favorite primers as well as primer sprays from the drugstore. So the first primer that I wanted to mention today, I'm sure will not come as a shock to you guys because me as well as a million other YouTubers here in the community have been talking about it, and that is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I know this is so hyped up, you guys, but I think this is really good. I really think this deserves all of the recognition and the hype it's been getting. I definitely don't think it's overhyped, and I think it deserves all of the goodness and praise that it's been getting in the community. This is definitely one of the most unique primers that I've tried because I feel like it's pore filling and smoothing and almost makes your skin look matte but makes you feel hydrated at the same time. I think this is one of those primers that literally every single skin type is going to love, whether you're really oily or really dry or just have like a normal or combo skin type. I definitely think this primer is going to work for you because like I said, it's smoothing. It really makes the skin look almost matte in a sense, but it doesn't make your skin feel dry. It definitely doesn't emphasize any dry patches, at least on my face. And it really has a nice hydrating quality to it. I just really feel like this is the universal primer that I've been looking for. It's still like smoothing, but it's not too silicone-y. It is just absolutely perfect. As far as the price point goes, it is only $8 and it is supposed to be a dupe for the Tatcha Smooth Canvas Primer, which is close to 60 bucks, I believe. I personally haven't tried that one, but if you guys want to go watch other reviews, maybe that would help you out. I also believe that Juicy Jazz did do a comparison with the two products as well. Maybelline is my favorite brand at the drugstore, especially when it comes to their base products. Every time they launch a foundation, a primer, I want to try it. I don't know who their product developer is, but kudos to them because I love their base products so much. Definitely one of my favorite things that they have to offer. But Maybelline really impressed me with their Master Prime Blur and Pore Minimize Primer. This is a really great primer. If you guys are looking for more of that traditional clear silicone based primer, something that's going to be very similar and reminiscent of the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, this is almost spot on. The only thing that I would say is this is like the tiniest bit of a thinner formula, but it's nothing really noticeable. I really think that this and the Smashbox one could be used interchangeably and you wouldn't really notice. It is almost a spot on dupe. I feel like this primer is what I really wanted the Maybelline Baby Skin Primer, a huge throwback to that primer. I'm sure you guys remember it. I don't even think I still have it in my collection, but if you guys remember, the Maybelline Baby Skin was also a clear silicone-y primer. I feel like this is what I wanted the Baby Skin to be, and I'm so happy that they finally got it right. This is definitely like the Baby Skin's older, better looking, better performing sister, if that makes any sense, but I'm really happy that they finally nailed this clear silicone formula, and it is so great. I picked this up last summer, and I don't know if you guys can see, I literally almost used the whole tube. This is going to be a little bit less hydrating than the e.l.f. primer because like I said, it's basically just a straight up silicone based formula. It doesn't have any like creaminess to it or puttiness to it, and I would say really great for all skin types as well. If you do have more of a dry skin type, you might want to layer this with a hydrating primer. So you would put a hydrating primer all over the skin and maybe focus this just on the center where you have issues with pores and texture. Do you guys ever see products and they look just so similar to the high-end version? It's almost like the lower end or drugstore brand wanted people to know that they were like coming for the high-end brand. So I don't know if you guys can see the two primers side by side right here, the Maybelline and the Smashbox. This is the older packaging of the Smashbox, but I just feel like everything about these two primers is so similar. Again, the Maybelline one just having like the slightest bit of a thinner formula. Another primer that I really love from e.l.f. that was one of my earlier experiences with primer, I would say, is the e.l.f. Mineral Infused Face Primer. Again, I picked this up because I had heard it was very similar to the Smashbox one, and it definitely is. This one is a little bit more on the thicker side like the Smashbox one is, and as you guys can see, I do have two of them in my collection here. This is the smaller size, which retails for $6, and then this is the bigger size, which retails for $10. Oh, and that reminds me, I didn't even mention that the Maybelline Master Prime retails anywhere between $7 and $10. Depending on where you get it, I would say for a lot of these primers and for drugstore makeup in general, it is going to be cheaper on Amazon, Target, Walmart, but then of course get more expensive as you go to like CVS, Ulta, places like that. So the baby one, like I said, retails for $6, the bigger one retails for $10, which I personally think are very fair price points. Everything e.l.f. has is very reasonably priced in my opinion. I would say again, this is one of those very universal primers that is that traditional clear silicone formula. It's really smoothing, it'll cover up any texture, fill in lines and pores, all that stuff. If you guys want an alternative to the Smashbox one, but you want something that is cruelty free, if you guys are not users of Maybelline for that reason, I definitely would recommend checking out the Mineral Infused Face Primer from e.l.f. e.l.f. is cruelty free and vegan, so I feel like they are a good alternative if you guys are into using all cruelty free products and you don't want to use anything from Maybelline, because I'm pretty sure Maybelline isn't cruelty free. I personally enjoyed this primer more when I was a little bit on the more oily side, just because I don't want to say this is heavy. I feel like heavy isn't the right word to use, but it definitely was more of a thicker formula, so I feel like my oils took a bit longer to break through this. I felt like it definitely combated my oils longer than the other Maybelline one that I have here. This formula was always just a little bit thinner, a little bit smoother, which allowed for more of a natural, like luminous look. I would definitely say that this one, the e.l.f. one, isn't drying, but it definitely does have a little bit more of an oil control quality to it. I also love the pumps and the packaging on this primer. I feel like it really allows me to control the amount of product that I am getting out. It's really just friendly in that way. I won't overdo it on the primer because it is easy to go overboard with primer. Primer can be your best friend when it comes to your makeup lasting longer and your makeup looking smoother. But if you put too much primer, it could have the opposite effect and your makeup could just slide off the skin. The pump really helps me control the amount of product that I'm using, and I just feel like for the price, the e.l.f. packaging has like a nice weight to it and it feels like you spent more than you actually did, and I just love, like, I could just appreciate good packaging. I just really like it. And the last traditional type of primer that I want to mention before we get into sprays is from Wet n Wild, and this is definitely for those of you that are looking for more of a glow, a little bit more hydration, maybe less of a smoothing effect, or maybe less longevity in your makeup. This is definitely more for the look on the skin, and that is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Face Primer in the Dewy formula. I believe this has like a name, maybe like till Prime Do Us Part. That's really cute. But this primer is glowy, you guys. If you are looking for a primer, like I said, that is going to make you look dewy and hydrated and luminous, more than really like smooth and pore filled and perfected, this is definitely the primer for you. I really like this primer more in the winter when I feel like my skin just needs a little bit of a boost when it's looking dull and dry. This adds so much life into the skin, so much dewiness, so much so that when I first bought this, I thought that I had accidentally purchased a liquid highlighter. That is how glowy and beautiful that this makes the skin look. I'm sure that you guys will be able to see off of the swatch and the face application that I do, but this is so glowy. If you guys are looking for a glowy primer, definitely look no further. This retails between $3 and $5 depending on where you are getting it, so definitely really affordable. I'm sure you guys know if you are more on the oily side, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this. Maybe this would be cute like under highlighter or something if you want a little bit more of a glow on the top of your cheeks, or maybe like a little on your chin, but all over your face if you are oily, I definitely wouldn't recommend it. And I also wouldn't go into this primer thinking that it is very like lotiony and very like creamy and supple on the skin. It really just adds a light layer of moisturizer, but mostly, like I said, it just makes the skin look very, very dewy and shiny, but it's not going to be like the most moisturizing and hydrating primer, if that makes any sense. If you guys want a really nice combo, you could probably do something like this in combination, one for the dewy and then one for more of like a perfecting, smoothing purpose. But all in all, if you guys are looking for just that dew, that glow, like you will be able to be seen from miles away, you will be so glowy, the Wet n Wild one is a really great drugstore option for that, and that's why I wanted to still include it in today's video. And for the last portion of today's video, I want to go ahead and talk about priming sprays from the drugstore. I love priming sprays. I definitely would say I haven't tried as many priming sprays from the drugstore just because I am so in love with the Smashbox Primer Water as well as MAC Fix Plus. Those two products just have my heart, but I have found two very comparable products at the drugstore, one of them being another Wet n Wild product, and this is their 3-in-1 Photo Focus Primer Water in the rose scent. If you guys aren't into rose, this does come in cucumber as well as coconut, but the formula on this is so great. It is only $5, $5.50, something around there. It is one of the best primer waters that I have tried. Definitely this made me put down my Fix Plus and my Smashbox Primer Water for a while because it is so hydrating. It feels so nice and refreshing and cooling on the skin, but it also dries down to have like a slightly tacky feeling on the skin, which really gripped onto the makeup. And when I wear this, I definitely see a longevity in how my makeup wears, and this is so good. I'm really happy that I tried this, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was really hesitant to, just because in the past I had such bad luck with Wet n Wild sprays. I have two right here that I just don't like, and one of them is their actual like first version of the primer water. This came out with their Flights of Fancy collection, the one with all the hummingbirds on it last summer. This was their primer spray, and you guys, this is so bad. I don't know if you could see, the mister is so thick. This has that really bad, just like baby wipe smell that I've said that this one smells like, which was also a bad setting spray for me. This is their original Photo Focus setting spray in Seal the Deal. Both of these products have a terrible sprayer. Both of them have a terrible smell and have a really sticky finish. Not just like a, oh, it's a little tacky, your makeup's gonna stick to it. No, like these were sticky, and I definitely did not like, and I still do not like both of these products. But with that being said, if you guys had the same experience with these, definitely don't let it hold you back from trying the Photo Focus, their new 3-in-1 primer waters. These are so great. They feel so beautiful on the skin. It has a really nice smell to it, and all in all, Wet n Wild just like finally got their spray right. The spritzer is great, the finish, the smell, the formula, everything on this is so good. I can't rave about this enough. And the last spray that I want to mention to you guys is one that I need to repurchase soon because I'm at the very bottom of it and I cannot be without this. It is the Catrice Long Lasting Prime and Fine Multi-Talent Fixing Spray. This spray is so great, you guys. It has the most incredible smell, spritzer, formula. I have mentioned before on my channel that I think this in particular is very similar to Fix Plus. I feel like it has a very similar feel on the skin as well as an effect under as well as on top of makeup. This has the most beautiful fine mister as well as a really nice fresh scent to it, and that is why I feel like it reminds me so much of the original Fix Plus formula. And this spray you can get on Ulta for $7.99 or in Ulta stores as well. I know that they do also have a dewy version that I would love to try out now that I'm more into like a glowy natural skin type of look. I definitely want to go ahead and pick up the dewy version because I know that Taylor as well as Raw Beauty Kristi like the dewy version of this. I'm definitely going to be repurchasing this one as well as trying the dewy one in the other formula. Alright you guys, so that is going to complete this video. Those are the best drugstore primers and priming sprays in my opinion. If you guys want to check any of these primers or sprays out, I will have them all listed and linked in the description box down below, just so you guys can easily see everything right there. And also if you guys want to shop. If you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up because it really helps me out. Also make sure that you guys are subscribed to my channel before you leave. I would love to have you guys here as part of my little YouTube fam. If you don't want to miss out on any of my future videos, is click that notification bell down below and you'll get notified every single time that I upload a new video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and of course, I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.
That was so anticlimactic.